Hello, welcome to episode 16 of the Bedroom Studios official podcast. I'm your host, Michael Butts, and joining me today is Josh O'Reilly, aka LOVŞ SÍLF.
Hello.
Big head honcho over here. So how you doing, man?
I'm good. Very good.
I mean, besides the rain outside, you know. I would prefer the snow instead of this heavy-ass rain.
No snow. I prefer sun. Maybe I should move.
Oh, that too. Maybe you should move. Well, let's start talking about music here real quick, because like a lot of people, I've noticed you just appeared. I met you through Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you appeared. And I was like, oh, another friend of Tony's, cool, plays music. And then all of a sudden you start showing me all your accolades and all that. And I was like, oh, this man's been here. He's just not starting out. This man's been here.
Mm.
So you've been
true.
in the game for what, a decade now?
Yeah, I have. And yeah, I have been in the Halifax music scene, kind of underground, secretly for, probably about a decade. It started on North Street in a house that doesn't even exist anymore. They replaced it with a car depot where we sell cars. It's literally on North Street. The house isn't there anymore. But I started in a band. It wasn't even my own band because I came from the UK. And when I came from the UK, it was kind of hard. I was doing music in the UK with a bunch of my friends that I grew up with. We were in a band called Comedy of Errors. And that band was doing really, really well. We were actually doing so good that we got contacted by a band in Scotland and was asked to change our name. And if we didn't, they were going to take us to court. Oh. So we were starting to really get some, get noticed on the internet and stuff like that. But, age and people like teenagers and kids going through things, like my friends and stuff started to go to university and things like that. So the band kind of broke up. And then at that point, I actually started my own band, which was just a three-piece with two brothers, a bassist and a drummer. That band was called the Melonflies. And that band actually, I don't think there's any story on the earth like this, or any band has done this. I think we're the only band in the world that played our first and last show ever on one night.
Oh.
Our first and last show at the White Horse in Essex. It was our first and last ever show because I was moving to Canada.
Goddamn.
And and we'd only been a band for 3 months. And we played with the Filthy Habits, which is it was at the time a very successful band in England. Very, very well known.
That name rings a bell.
The Filthy Habits. So I think 3 or 4 members of that band were Comedy of Errors. So it was kind of weird for me. They were my best friends, and then I was basically replaced with an older singer. And that affected me deeply, man. My heart, it was hard for me because he was older and he was really good, But that's why it pushed me to do the Melonflies. But that night that we played that gig, we destroyed the Filthy Habits. And they won't like me telling you this, but I found them in their little red car after the show, arguing. Shouting at each other, saying if you think we're gonna make it, we can't play fucking shows like that. Bobby was going mad. Bobby was the new lead singer. He's older than all of them. And I'll never forget it because we were just we were exalted. We were I mean it. The Melonflies, we were flying. It was sad, but at the same time it was great. But yeah, so after all of that, when I moved to Canada, it was hard. It was really hard for me. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. But luckily I found this guy called Nick Iwaskow, and he had a band called Gygus, or Gigas, depending on how you want to say it, which meant giant. I think it means giant or something. Yep. And it was electronic, but it had room for guitar. So I would come over to his basement and I'd bring my guitar and my amp and whatever, and he would play the stuff, and I would just fit these intricate kind of little melodies around what he was doing, and it just kind of fit, and me and him had a connection. So I did that for a while, and we headlined the Seahorse loads of times, loads. We were really like, people loved coming out to see us. We actually played with the guys that have cones on their heads. They're like huge in Japan. They would started here though, and they, Tupperware Remix Party.
Oh,
We used to play with Tupperware
my
all the time.
holy shit!
All the time. All the time. I was like friends with all of them. So we played with Tupperware everywhere. We played like 2 shows in the same day. We played CD Heaven in Dartmouth. Yeah, played CD Heaven with Tupperware Remix Party. And then that same day we went on and played the Seahorse with Tupperware Remix Party. But so like after I did that for a while, I started to feel comfortable again. I started to write my own songs, but that's when things started to go haywire with Nick. Nick was kind of like protective over Gygus. And I wanted a bit more. He didn't really want me to have a bit more. So that's when I started. This is when things get really fucking complicated. Not complicated, but just the way everything intertwines. Like, fuck. So that's when I ended up just leaving that band and starting my own band, which was Molly's Behavior. Molly's Behavior played a few live shows, but we were mainly a studio band. Mainly like studio recording band.
Okay.
So
like late stage Beatles.
Yeah, but we didn't sound like that. We didn't
Okay.
sound like that. But so like the lineup for that band like was me, my girlfriend at the time. She played piano. Ian Smith. I think you know Ian Smith,
Mm-hmm.
who played in Greensleeves. Who was in Greensleeves was with Michael Sheldon, who I later on went to be in Old Man Coyote with. Anyway, I guess I'll get to all that. But so I started Molly's Behavior, and then we had Ian on bass, and then we had 2 other guys who went to St. Mary's University. George was the drummer. I can't remember his second name. And then the guitar player is escaping my name right now, or escaping my mind right now. It'll probably come to me later. So yeah, we ended up starting that band and recording to a 3-track demo, and then an EP called The Sound of Outside, which is really, really cool, all experimental, and it was all recorded at Echo Chamber.
Ooh.
Where if you look into Echo Chamber, Matt Mays is recorded there. Any big name that's come from the East Coast recorded at Echo Chamber with Chuck. Can't remember his second name either. But yeah.
Is Echo Chamber still like?
No, Echo Chamber's not there anymore. It's Ocean Floor now.
Oh, okay.
And it's somewhere in the North End. But yeah, Chuck is a great guy. We recorded all of that stuff with him. He's a legend in the local music scene.
Now is Chuck also on Ocean Floor now, or is it a different guy?
Yeah, Chuck still has his but he has another guy that kind of runs it more than he does.
Okay. I've seen a lot of people doing going to Ocean Floor. Like Summer Rabbit, Mushcat.
There's a lot of people that go there.
Oliver Carter. Have you ever met Oliver?
No, I haven't.
He is like the not Irish version of you.
Okay, it's Frank. Frank's the guy that owns it now.
Ah, okay.
Frank, but Chuck was who I worked with mainly. Frank wasn't in the picture when I was doing this because this was like 2000 and like maybe 2015. So it was the original, like where Matt used to go, where Matt Mays used to go, where the True Love Rules recorded with. He plays in Joel Plaskett's band. Dave Marsh and the True Love Rules. That album was recorded there too. So I'm really proud that like my first 2 things were recorded at that place. Like even though not a lot of people have heard them and I didn't get to play it live as much as I would have liked, I'm very proud that they were recorded there with you know, that in that environment, and it was all recorded to tape as well, like
I love
all
tape.
reel to reel,
Oh,
live off
shit.
the floor. Yeah, man. Like if you can find it, like if you're listening to the podcast, it's all on SoundCloud. Go out there, look up Molly's Behavior, The Sound of Outside. It's really, really cool stuff. It's different, man. Like it's
I'm looking that up. I'm looking that up afterwards.
Oh, the second demo is just the second EP is all like acoustic, like drop tunings, just like
yummy.
space. Like it's out there. And then the first one, the first like the first demo is like just a real like hard rock. Like it's cool sound. I got a song on there called Naked Girls, which is just fucking rad, man. Really,
Is it
really
about naked girls?
Sort of. It's about naked girls like inspiring you to, I guess, like I don't know, like that giving you that feeling to want to fucking just do something, you know, like
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get what you mean.
It was because what it was I was feeling sad, like quite depressed. Like depression's something I deal with. Like I don't care. It's not like I think it's good that we talk about that, but so I was like really, really fucking sad in my room, and I had taped this naked girl to my wall, but it wasn't just a naked girl. It was from a clipping from a magazine I thought was really cool, and she was topless. And I remember looking at it, and it just gave me a fucking feeling to want to do something. So I ended up writing the song "Naked Girls."
So basically, when you're sad, titties.
Yeah, dude. Like straight up.
Bro.
There's no need for pills.
Bro. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
We're figuring everything out.
Oh, yeah.
See? That's what podcasts are all about. I should be on here every week. We'll help out.
I'm gonna mention that to one of my friends, and he's gonna be like, bro, because he's single as fuck as well, and he'd be like, bro, that makes sense. That's great. So after that band,
Yeah.
what happened to this band, and what was the transition?
Okay,
into...
so yeah. Okay, so I really took that band seriously. That was like my heart. But the George, who played drums, I wish I could remember the guitar player's name. I feel bad that I can't. They were in another band called the Wayo, with an amazing singer. Her name's Charlotte Wilson. The thing is, she's an amazing musician, and probably shouldn't say this, but she's not, in my experience, a very nice person.
Okay. That happens.
Great singer though, and has gone on to do a song with Bad Bad Not Good.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so I played alongside her, not in the same band, but like the Wayo would play with Molly's Behavior, so it'd be like Molly's Behavior first, and then the Wayo like would headline.
Holy shit! Okay.
Which like I kind of found hard, because I'm a one dove type of guy. Like I like to put all my effort and all my, especially with music, into one thing, because I feel like that's how you make something work. You know, that's why Nirvana was so good. Nirvana weren't good because they were in 5 different bands. Nirvana were one of the best bands in the world because they were just in Nirvana and they practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. That's how you get really good. That's how you create a sound. That's how you become a true band. So like, I wanted everybody to be like that, but these guys didn't want to be like that. And my sound and the songs that I was singing were not as popular in the university crowd.
Really?
Let's say.
Really?
My stuff was more like for the outsider, you know? Like maybe you don't go to school, you're just a normal person and you like, you know, darker type of stuff, or you like more experimental music, and you just find yourself at the bar one night and you're like, fuck, this is, you know. So my guys were more into the Wayo because they were going to the university, and I think it was just more hip for them. Mm-hmm. So that band, The Sound of Outside, is actually just about that band splitting up. Because, not to get all sad, but I was sitting in my room one day and I just had The Sound of Outside with me. So that's kind of what that EP is about. It's about that band kind of fizzling. So I think after that, not to keep fucking dwindling on, but it was, I continued to make music. And that's when I met Michael Sheldon, who you saw me play with on the 2nd of November at LOVક્ષ Canon. And Michael's another songwriter. And Michael came over to basically try to do some music with me, and it went really, really well. And then that was when we went into like, there was a few different setups for Old Man Coyote, and I'll just kind of go through it quick. We had like, there's a guy called Wesley McNeil who played bass, and then me and Michael were playing guitar and singing, and then Ian Smith was playing drums.
Really?
In this first lineup.
Okay.
And we didn't really have a name, we were just feeling it out. So this is what happened after Molly's Behavior. But it wasn't really working when Wesley wasn't really into it, and we kind of tell that Ian wasn't really like feeling the drums. We recorded one demo, it was a 3-track demo out in some studio. I can't remember the name of the studio now. Good studio. I have photos of it and stuff. So after that, we ended up basically just taking the drummer from what I was talking about earlier, from Greensleeves. So it was really weird because I was basically in a band with Greensleeves, because Greensleeves was Michael, Ian, and Brendan on drums.
Yeah.
Brendan Morley, who owns Morley's in Dartmouth, the coffee shop.
Oh shit!
Really? Yeah, that's who played drums in Old Man Coyote.
Holy shit!
So anyway, before we became Old Man Coyote, so Wesley ended up leaving because he wasn't really into it, and Wesley's an amazing musician and had his own things going with his brother and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, let's get Wesley out because he's not really feeling it, and so we put Ian back onto bass, and then we got Morley in on the drums, and it was just so weird because when that happened, Jenna, who used to sing for Greensleeves, she ended up going and singing for Gagas, the first band that I was ever in. How weird is that? So I don't know. So at one point there was like, this even goes back, like when I was in Molly's Behavior, that's when she joined Gagas. But it was just like, so at one point in the same house, because Gagas lived above me, there was Molly's Behavior below and Gagas above. And then Gagas had Jenna in that band, who was from Greensleeves. It's so complicated. And then I had Ian in Molly's Behavior, who was also from Greensleeves. And then Molly's Behavior's fizzled out, and then Old Man Coyote came together, and then Old Man Coyote was basically Greensleeves just with me. It's crazy. It's like, this is it. It's like no one knows this stuff either. It's just insane. So yeah, after Wesley left, we ended up getting Morley in because Michael and Ian knew him so well. And that's when Old Man Coyote came about. We did some practices. We used to practice in Ian's dad's basement. And how the name came up was there was just a bunch of books in his basement, and one of them was Old Man Coyote. There's a book called Old Man Coyote. And the drummer, Brendan Morley, liked it so much because he thought that I'm kind of like a coyote and Michael Sheldon's kind of like an old man. So that's
how old is Michael?
Michael's younger than me.
I was about to say.
That's what's funny.
Isn't he like 27 or something?
Yeah, he's 20. I think he's 28 or 29. Or he might be 30, I don't know. But I think he's 30. But so, and that's how that band came about. And you know, we did quite well. We did quite well in the scene with that band. That was like the highest I went up, and first time getting paid as a musician as well. Gus's Pub loved us. Lots of stuff in the newspaper with Gus's Pub. Yeah. I don't want to just keep talking.
No,
I don't know if you have any more questions.
Keep talking. So, well, obviously, Old Man Coyote's not a thing anymore. So when did that fizzle out?
We were doing quite well, playing a lot of shows, and we ended up recording. Again, it was at Echo Chamber. It's the same studio we recorded with Molly's Behavior. We did the exact same thing at Echo Chamber with Chuck. All live off the floor. But I guess when I perform in a full band, not when I'm just performing on my own with an acoustic guitar, I can get a little like raunchy.
You get a little horny.
A little horny. Maybe a bit hornier than most people. I'm not talking like G.G. Allen horny, like shit in the floor or anything like that. But like I can get horny, like, you know, like I get into it and like I fucking, you know, like I just, and sometimes I like to swear. I think I've swore quite a few times on this podcast already. And the drummer, I come from Northern Ireland, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in a low level of war. So like things around me were kind of gritty. So maybe I'm just more attracted to the grittier things in life, but he grew up in Fall River, so there's maybe like a kind of disconnection there, but he didn't like the way sometimes I would swear and maybe drop some F-bombs. And that kind of annoyed me because I found that I wasn't mean or aggressive or scary. It all came from a loving place. I was trying to give people a good time. If anything, I'm there trying to like almost be like an entity or like something to kind of help other men, like put their aggression through me so they don't have to go out and, you know, hurt anybody or anything like that. And I don't think he liked that. So that kind of set us off on a weird, you know, because he kind of asked me to tone down because his parents are coming to shows or whatever. And
You guys are adults.
That's what I'm saying. It's a rock and roll show.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not doing a show at like a library for fucking 7-year-old girls and kids, you know. So I think that tension, it got into the practice room. And then if he made mistakes or if mistakes happened, it would just be like, the music would just stop and it'd be like, what the fuck, you know, and then it would, full-on arguments would just abrupt. But there was also times where I just felt disconnected from all three of them because I'm more hardcore, I guess, and they're just more country. So there'd be times where I wasn't even in the room and they'd be playing something and I just didn't connect with it. And I'd be like, that's the Greensleeves. And then I'd come in and then we'd do something that is Old Man Coyote, which was nothing like what they were doing. So I think for me, I wanted to do something more experimental and go places that I didn't see that band going. So I just decided to, and with everything going on with Morley, I was just like, I don't really want to do this anymore. So I ended up moving up to Moncton. But nothing really happened up there musically. I just got a job up there making pizza at a really good pizzeria called Gusto. My fucking girlfriend was cheating on me, so I ended up having to come back. And then, oh man, it's like 5 years ago after all of that stuff happened and I met Amanda, I like decided to start LOVŞ SÍLF. Like to really, really start LOVŞ SÍLF properly. But again, like I could feel a lot of changes happen with artists. I think change is really good, and I think extreme changes happen with the best artists. I'm not saying I'm one of the best or anything, but you know, I just felt a huge change happening in me, so that I went like completely down a hip hop, like the darkest hip hop like avenue you could ever go down. So like my first 5 or 6 singles with LOVŞ SÍLF are just completely like dirty rap hip hop.
So like horrorcore type stuff?
I wouldn't call it hardcore, I'd call it more like shadow rap.
Shadow rap?
It's more like about your, like, it's not like normal rap, where like normal rap's kind of like about all the girls and all the bling and like how much weed you smoke and money. Whereas like shadow rap is like the complete opposite of that. It's like how I feel inside, the darkest feelings, like what you want to do with them.
So
a lot of depression. It's more cathartic cathartic is a good word for it, but it is dark. Like I have one called PTSD, and it's I showed it to a rapper, and he said I can't remember, it was something like he said like when I listen to some songs, like I think songs are hard, but he said something about my song just being like like a complete level up from that. So yeah, I went down that avenue for a while, and why that changed was literally because of performing. Like I don't like when I was performing, it felt weird. I'm addicted to having my guitar.
Oh, yes.
So like when I'd go up there and I'd rap, the rap that I do, this shadow rap that I'm talking about, this style of rap, you don't freestyle over it. So you don't like have your beat and then do your rap freestyle over it. The best way to do it is to have kind of these backing tracks, but it's not like you're miming. They're kind of these backing tracks almost emphasize your rap more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So they had backing tracks, but I kind of didn't like that either. So I did some shows. I played Gus's. I played with Frantic a bunch. I actually did one song with Frantic as well. Shout out to Frantic if you're listening to this. But yeah, like I said, I felt light on my feet and I felt like I was cheating. And then I also just started to gravitate towards my guitar more and songwriting.
As a person who has cut backing tracks as of recent, yeah, it definitely is a bit of a...
It's a different mind.
It's a different mindset, because like I've always started with backing tracks. And my defense was, I play songs that people cannot do, nor know, right? So, I did like coffee houses at like high school, and I just effortlessly whip out a hard Primus song. It's like, I don't know a drummer in grade 10 or a guitarist in grade 10 who can like whip off a Primus song, right? I just took the time to learn it. So of course you're gonna have that backing track behind it, or I mean, now with Jamming Through the Night, we did backing tracks, right, up until our last show just about almost 30 days ago. Yeah, it was a lot of just hearing a bunch of people in the scene just being like, when are you gonna get a real drummer? And I was like, well, we can't just have a real drummer. We also need like a keyboard player, another guitarist. Like we need a 6-piece band to actually get this going.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just like, it was so simple just to play locally and just get the money and just walk away. But then we did bite the bullet a few times. We did Gus's, we did Monty's. And I was like, this is going to be a risky maneuver here. You know why? A, we're headlining and we're using backing tracks, right? And B, we're like the least popular out of all these other bands that are opening, or co-headlining. So we're really taking a risk here.
It's slightly different, I guess, from what the...
Yeah, and but when you play a real instrument, people want to see the real instruments, right? It was just a lot of like, when are you going to stop using backing tracks? And I was like... Yeah, and I mean, it started to be like, yeah, you know what, like a real band, everyone's going to care about a real band over backing tracks any day of the week.
I think for me, it was just, I don't think I'm I like hip-hop, but I just don't think that, I'm not going to say I don't think I'm a rapper or anything, because I just don't think that it doesn't fully fulfill my heart, I love playing guitar, and I love singing. And yeah, just doing rapping on its own, it was great. Like I did like that sort of freedom, like just get up there and fucking like let go. But it's not my calling. But it was definitely, like I said, change is good. And any artist that is listening to this and you're local and you know who I am, like change is brilliant. Any change, like I'm so glad that like LOVŞ SÍLF is like that. Like if you go listen, Eric, a great artist that I'm working with, he's designing my website. He was kind of critiquing me the other night, and he was saying like, you need to find your sound, because he goes through all my songs and it's like there's not one intricate sound to all of it, But I don't think that's a bad thing. I honestly think anybody who understands an artist, even a musical artist, or even goes and looks at my catalog, they would be like, I know this is the same person. And they might hate it, or they might love that, I can see an artist here trying to find himself. And lately, with my last two releases, Mummy and Daddy and Unconditional, I think I finally know what I am, like what I'm trying to do, and my two sides. And it's taken 5 years to find that. And it's taken getting through hip hop, and it's taken through just being in the studio for the last 4 years and plucking away with no help at all. And I mean no help. I have done everything on my own, apart from some of the mixing and mastering, and maybe little bits of artwork that here and there. But everything else has been done by me. And I was kind of offended by Eric in a way, but I get what he's saying. But I think there needs to be that stage where you're not sure, and you're just running and running and running. And then one day you're like, I've got this now. I understand what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can see both sides of the argument here. I mean, people say the same thing to me. Like, people know me now as blues, right? But I'll go like, hey, let me go play an old song, and I just whip out this pop ballad, and everyone's like, who the fuck is that guy? It's like, yeah, I did 3 records of pop before I did blues, and that's what it was, and it was pop was generic, and it was easy though, right?
I for you, maybe you set out though, whereas for me, I haven't. The last, again, I had before all this too, I didn't do any production. It's like, this is my first time recording my own music and producing my own music and releasing it. So I never set out to do a project or have a song sound a certain way. I was always just I'm always just been following my heart. This is how I feel this time. This is what I like, and this is how I sound. But now I'm at a point where I've got all that out of my system now, and now I know what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna sit down and be like, okay, what this next project or this probably project, how do I want it to sound similar to what you're doing? And I just think it's funny that it's kind of taken me going through all this music to figure that out. But I also think it's a really, 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 really good thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's always a good thing to discover. Like, for me, it's a flat out, genre swap, basically going from pop to blues. And I've been very adamant about this, after this album that just came out. I'm like, yeah, no more blues. No more. So I'm going to swap. I keep saying, yeah, I'm going to go over to country.
Well, I think for me, I'm either very loud or just very quiet. So, I know that now. But I think I know more what the quiet sound is and more what the loud sound is meant to sound like. And how that fits into the LOVŞ SቍLF, what would you call that?
The Sphere?
Project.
Oh, the project.
And what shouldn't be in it anymore. If I make something and I'd be like, nah, that ain't I think I know, what it's meant to sound like.
So what would you consider yourself now, especially with your last 2 singles?
Honestly, if someone asks me what I do, I tell them I specialize in music that makes you feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. But if you want genres, I would say, I think grunge is there. Grunge and
I would have called it. I would have said alternative.
Alternative, yeah.
Rock.
See, that's why I don't like it. That's why I like saying when people ask, oh, what type of music? It's music that makes you feel. That's what I want to do. I want to make you feel, and I think I do that quite well if you go and listen to.
That's how I see it as well, because I want to have it just as a sense of expressionalism.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to be like, this is how I'm feeling,
Yeah. So yeah, it's music that makes you feel. That's what I do.
But you know what's funny though? If you really want to pinpoint it down for biographies for press kits or something like that, go look your name up and go get the AI overview from Google.
It's probably,
If you look up my
probably,
name, it will straight up say Michael Butts, aka the Jazz Enthusiast, is a blues musician. And I'm like, fuck, okay, I guess I am.
I think I'm a recording artist or something, but there's probably things up there that are like, that say certain things.
What's funny is like the songs that it will like say, for example, are like not blues. They'll always like bring up my pop stuff or my jazz trap. Yeah, I did jazz trap as well. Yeah. That's a fever dream of an experience.
Yeah,
That is
that's so funny.
that's the one you have like slightly on the background. You turn your LED lights to red, and you're just laying in bed with some fucking Cheez-Its. That's the music you listen to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just been like a big train, right? I mean, I am new. I am newer, like, and less seasoned than anybody here, right? Because your track record is running past a decade right now, from what I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like on and off.
yeah,
Not just like constant, but yeah, on and off. On and off, because there's been like breakages or like hiatuses where, my Jaguar spent years underneath the bed, and then I pulled it out. The whole bridge had to be replaced with a Mustang bridge. Because it was completely rusted away because I sweat so much, and I went underneath the bed from the last show at the Seahorse. I just sat there. But so it's been on and off. Yeah. So like when I came back, I felt very just, especially playing on my own, because I would usually always play with other people. So it was completely new to me playing solo and playing an acoustic guitar.
oh my, you know what?
So
yes.
that was a lot to get used to. Seriously, it was so like you do feel a bit naked up there at first.
Yep, I will stand with you on that. It is such a toll to do that. I would always be with the band, with backing tracks or whatever, or be with Brian Doucette band, or.
It's different when you got
And then
people
you're just
there.
up there and you're naked basically.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck do
That's
I
the
do?
best way to explain it. You're fucking naked.
Naked and Afraid, season 2, like extra naked, extra afraid.
Like,
it was hard, and
Get
then I had
ready
to
get ready to learn. It helps when you have people there who love you.
Yes.
And if you don't, then it's like, why am I even here? It's hard.
Yep.
My first show, I had Tony Trimper there. I had Blaze there. I had my girlfriend there. They had brung a bunch of people too.
Was this the Whiskey Show?
Yeah, it was at Whiskey's, and it felt amazing. And then I've done some other shows, like obviously they're not going to make it out to every show.
Mm-hmm.
And I did one in Cow Bay, and there was basically no one there the whole night. And I remember halfway through it, you would have been there, but I didn't tell you anything. But I was just thinking, like, how the fuck am I going to get through all this? Because it's just hard, like, playing to... You can get really in your head. You have to stay out of your head, and you need to stay really positive.
Oh, yeah.
I like to do 3 pages of writing before I get on stage to clear everything out of my brain so I can just focus on the actual performance. Yeah, it really helps. Doing your pages every morning is great, but, any artist listening to this that performs, try it. Try doing, for your next gig, try sitting down and doing 3 pages of longhand writing, and it doesn't matter what it is. If you just keep writing, I don't know what to write, that still passes. And see how you perform afterwards. See if you perform better, see if you perform worse. Try it. There's lots of little things like that. I actually carry a picture of my nanny as well in my back pocket, because she loved me more than anybody else. So I find that love is like, motivates me to like really go for it. I go for it better though as well when I have a bit like some like the show that you came out to see. I think that was so good because I had Michael with me and I had Amanda with me.
Oh, the Canon, yes.
Yeah, it was
the Canon was great.
Just so much fun, and like I got so much great feedback from that too, from the Canon themselves.
Yeah. It's good when the staff tell you, you're doing good.
Yeah, I had messages the next day saying, heard great things about your show last night. So I was just really, that show was a big one for me. And
yeah,
hopefully
it was,
I get more.
I mean, I have 3 Canon shows under my belt. And it's pretty crazy to be like, okay, there's a lot of people here. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. So, hopefully, what I play sticks and keeps these asses here for 3 hours. You know? Because at the end of the day, music is always... Live music nowadays is keep the asses in seats so the alcohol sales go up.
Yeah, go up. Exactly.
So, I mean, I will say this right now. We're setting up for your show, right? You're up there. This whole slew of people come in, all wearing blue shirts. And one goes, what's the band name? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm just the sound guy. Josh up there, he goes by LOVE SÄLF. He's going to play. And it's like, okay, when does music start? 10 o'clock. Okay, cool. And it was just the wife of the owner of Beerley's. And I was like, oh, that's friggin' fantastic. As soon as music starts, they all fucking leave. I was like, what? What is that? But then, saving grace, the last 90 minutes, or basically halfway through your set, the fucking place went to 90% capacity again. I was like,
yeah, it was pretty cool.
There's the track record. That is what people want to see. And oh my, shout out my boy Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny was loving every song. I know, mate. Did I tell you? Oh my goodness! Did I tell you this?
He had the lyrics out to. What is it?
Singing. He was singing.
The Elvis song. Yeah.
Oh, he's a big.
Always on my mind.
Yep.
And Suspicious Minds. He had the lyrics out. He's like singing every word with me. It was just so much fun.
Oh, he's a big vintage music guy. You know what was funny? So it was me, Johnny, and one of Johnny's friends at that table, right? This random woman comes up to us. Oh my god, I tried so hard to keep a straight face, and I broke halfway through this story. But she comes up to us, she's buzzed, or a little past the buzz, right? She goes, not to me, she goes to Johnny and Johnny's friend, I'm sorry, but I couldn't help but notice, you guys look really young, how do you know these songs?
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
And they're trying not to laugh either, and I'm here just like covering my mouth. And I was like, well, why are you pointing at them? Well, no, first I was like, well, yeah, these guys, I seen this guy do Johnny Cash and Elvis all the time at open mics. He's great, right? So he's, seasoned. I'm like, I know the stuff too. I'm like 6 years older than him. And then she goes, you're 25? And I go, yeah. She goes, the mustache really ages you. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, that was the point. And then she walks off. I think I said something passive aggressive to her. She walks off, so they're all looking at each other like, what the fuck? This woman probably pushing 40 coming in like, how do you know these songs? You're so young. Like, did you get ID'd? Like I was like, holy fuck, dude. We're just trying to enjoy Josh, and you're coming in here.
That's funny.
No, he was going nuts when you did the Nirvana cover of the Bowie song. Man Who Sold the World. Man Who Sold the World. Yeah, no, he was going nuts.
Yeah, people liked that a lot.
Oh, people went. Oh, it was great. Oh, yeah. I was looking around as well.
Well,
because people were just loving it.
Next show's January 11th at the Eastern Passage Buffalo Club, and it'll be the same lineup. It will be LOVE SÄLF and Co. So, which is LOVE SÄLF and Company.
Nice.
So.
Oh, Michael's there too.
It'll be Michael Sheldon and my fiance Amanda, and I just bought Amanda an FP10 Roland keyboard, weighted keys.
Holy shit! Is that her Christmas gift?
Yeah.
You spilling the beans right here? Or she already know?
No, she already knows.
Okay, cool. I was about to say, bro, spilling the beans.
So I'm super excited because we were done with that Casio after all that. It's like, okay, this is gonna take off one day. I know it is. So it's like it's time to get the better equipment.
And Rolands are phenomenal. I've played a fair bit of Rolands just for rents for gigs.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
They're phenomenal.
There's a song I've been working on at home called "I Love You," which is in a cool E minor 11 tuning, and we've been playing that together. And she plays
E minor 11. Isn't that just standard?
No, it's you drop the you drop the G to F sharp.
Yes.
So you just play it. You play some of your chords a little bit different. It just adds a richness that's different to standard. It's really, really cool. But I wrote a melody on the guitar and played it on the guitar. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give that to the keyboard. It will sound better on the keyboard. Yeah. So we've been playing that at home. It sounds really nice. I
can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That's gonna sound great. And a lot of people now. I will say this. I've been playing at the Buffalo Club since like 2022. Right? Or I've known of it since 2022 as well.
It's a great place.
It is a great place. And I'll say
very,
right now,
very welcoming.
they've done a lot of things for improvement over the years. You've recently played there where they have the speakers now mounted on the walls.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, which is great. I was there when they padded the room up, or padded the stage up with all the acoustic foam. That was right before the mental health fundraiser. Speaking of the mental health fundraiser, you're going to be on that too, aren't you?
Yes, and I believe I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing with you and Justin, but if we can hook something up, I would do that. But I do believe he wants me to play acoustically. But yeah, I will be on that. I think I'm playing like a month. I think I'm playing in the same month as that.
I think it was January and April, wasn't it? January, March, January, February.
Yeah. And April, yeah, are the shows. I can't remember the dates for all of them. Yeah.
Right. The mental health fundraiser is just going to be infested with like the same 7 people playing everything. Because I don't know if I'm going to be on the big side or the small side or not. Malcolm just knows to put that I'm in for it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at either. And
it all depends. But as soon as if Justin says yes, boom, we got an hour on the big side.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work though. We'd have to. I'd want to dedicate a lot of time to.
Oh, I mean, we got 20 minutes already, so.
Yeah. I get anything else?
Well, obviously, let's take a step back here and talk about recording as well.
Oh, okay.
So recording. So when was the recording like? No more walking into studios. Oh. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I like that question. That happened again after going to Ocean Floor, which would have been on Spring Garden, at the time, and I guess doing the rap stuff. And I think it was around COVID. Yeah, it would have been COVID because I couldn't get out to studios. Couldn't get into studios.
Okay.
So COVID forced me to build my own studio, which I think for a lot of people, COVID might have been a bad time, but in that dark time, it might have made a lot of people like do something like, holy shit, this is why I'm here now. So COVID, yeah, I think that's when I got my first mics to record. And then I got FL Studio on my computer because that's what a lot of my friends use back in the UK. And I think I just wanted that freedom to like know I can record whenever I want and I don't have to pay a penny for it.
Yeah, there's always that, which is a real nice feeling.
Yeah.
And it's definitely my strong suit right now. People are like, oh, you ever go to the studio? I'm like, no. I'm like, why? And I'm like, I show them that.
Out of everything that I do, recording really makes me feel good. Like feels right when I'm recording, and I love recording other people's music too. So yeah, it would have started. Yeah, I guess like maybe 2016, or no, like 2018 or something. I can't remember exactly. It's all kind of a blur.
You just started building up since then with different pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a crazy setup, which I don't really believe you need a massive setup to be successful.
Dude.
Like a lot of the best hip hop artists and stuff like that, they literally just have a Mac and they make their, some people make stuff on phones, but I'm all about sound integrity. Yeah, and just setting up I love recording guitar. There's no tricks to it. You just set it up right. You just set it up properly and take your time doing it. Yeah.
And you have a pair of fucking tasty pencil mics too.
Yeah, yeah. Which I've used for acoustic a few times, but now I actually just love running. I have a ME70, which you've seen me use live, and I love just running my acoustic through that, and then straight into my interface. That's what I did for my newest single that I just recorded, and it sounds great, and it works well for me because I have kids, so these pencil mics are so sensitive.
Oh yeah.
So with the kids at home and the banging, sometimes it doesn't work, but through the ME70 they can be screaming and shouting and it won't pick anything up.
Oh yeah, no,
'Cause it's
I
all-
have something like that as well. It's not an ME70, but here I'll show you. When it comes to just little like when it comes to gigs now, I don't even whip out the pedal board. I just use this. This is the Joyo American Sound. It's an amp sim pedal. It emulates the sound of a '57 Deluxe Fender, which is like
cool.
a $3,300 amp, and which is insane. Which this was $54.
Yeah.
And I bring this. I like when I'm hosting the open mic on Fridays, I obviously have my acoustic guitar with a DI, and then I just have this off to the side with my electric guitar.
Okay.
And I just go. Anyone want to play leads? Go right ahead. You know. Literally just a knob for how much distortion you want. Simple as that. And or I was with Josh Pelham this Friday at the Buffalo Club. Everyone, we're just infesting the Buffalo Club. Everyone's there. Me, you, both
great.
other Josh,
Yeah,
Tyler and Justin.
Yeah.
Everyone's just infesting that spot now. But I brought this. All right, I set up with all my gear, and then I just threw this off to the side. Because it was literally just, if I knew the song, I ran up and went on the electric guitar.
Okay.
But yeah, it's such a full sound.
Nice.
When it comes to something like that, just off to the side, I will use it. But if it's something like where I'm actually playing, like if I'm playing with Nick or something, I'm whipping out the pedal board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. Yeah. COVID drove me to get all the stuff, and I guess just the secret to everything I've ever recorded or anything you ever hear that I've done is it's just been through through my Garnet, which I think is the secret. I have a Canadian made Garnet Gnome, which I've had Dan the Amp Man fix a few times for me and make sound better. So that might be one of the like that super vintage amp that I have. I've learned a lot from watching Steve Albini. So I set my guitar mic. When I mic my guitar amp, I mic it just like Steve Albini does. So that might be a trick to how I'm getting this kind of raw guitar sound that everybody's really liking in the local area. I just use the exact same microphone as you. So a Shure 57.
They're phenomenal, dude.
They are phenomenal. Anybody who wants to record guitar, just get yourself a Shure ME57. Don't get anything else.
What's also good is if you I go by the motto center cone, brightest tone. So I'll always put my 57 right at the center of the cone.
Yeah, that's what I do. And another little trick is like if you have a phone, use your light on your phone and put it against the amp so you can kind of see where your speaker is.
Oh yeah.
And then, adjust it to like different sounds. It will sound different if it's super close, and it will sound different if you start to pull it away. I like to have mine, I don't know why, but I like to have mine as close as possible.
I do a finger space.
You do, yeah. Oh, well, I find like once I have it kind of meeting the netting of the amp, I find there's still quite a big gap between the speaker and the microphone. So,
and then
I always just try to make sure that the speaker isn't touching the amp as well. But after that, I just find a nice. I don't use any math or anything like that. And like my friend Jack, who is a master of mixing and mastering music, he tells me I record guitar better than him. And I think the only reason that I do that is because I've done it more. But yeah, I just make sure I have a nice like recording of it. Yeah, and I kind of visual, so I'll kind of look at it visually. And then I just go to town, because with guitar, it's not like vocals, where vocals waver because you're in and out, or you come away, or with guitar, it's just a steady audio file, you know what I mean?
100%.
So just started recording guitar, and at first I would just record guitar in like big, massive recordings. Like just huge audio files, because I didn't know at the time to cut it into like maybe 16 measures or 8 measures, but now I do everything in like 8 and max 16 measures of my guitar, and then I consolidate everything at the end.
Oh yeah. So are you just a one mic person for your amp, or?
I'm a one mic person for my guitar. Yeah, definitely. I use a Octafuzz, so I do, which is like an analog pedal. You can't have it like the way you have your pedals here in front of me. I can't have it because it runs a separate way.
Yeah.
So I can have it like plugged in like to a chain, but I can't have it electrified the same way because it's the opposite because it's analog. So I use that. I think I use that on Dig in My Grave. If you want to go listen to something very heavy,
yes,
that's on Dig in My Grave. And then I use a tube screamer. I love my tube screamer. It's amazing. It's so cool. I also have the
Holy Grail Mini.
No, that pedal that you have there. I also have a Holy Grail. But again, I don't use that many effects when I record. I also hate guitar solos. I need that on recording. It has to be recorded. I hate guitar solos. Not saying you're gonna go listen to my music and not hear one.
I hate writing them.
I think, yeah. I don't know. They're boring. Most of the bands I listen to don't have guitar solos. Joy Division don't have guitar solos. Talking Heads don't have guitar solos. I have been getting into black metal a lot lately, and there's some guitar solos in black metal, but not a lot. But I think they're just very there are places for them, like Black Sabbath. Okay, I'm not Black Sabbath. I like Black Sabbath because of guitar solos, so maybe I'm being a bit hasty when I say I hate them. I don't know what I like. Yeah. So yeah.
I always like messing with the clean tones. I mean, right off the bat, if you look down at my pedal bar right here, you don't really see a lot, but there's actually 6 effects right there.
Yeah, I was looking at this triple throat.
That triple threat is, in a good way, fucking disgusting. That's one of Jack White's pedals.
Oh, cool.
I went to Nashville and I went.
Oh, no way.
I went to the Third Man Records and that was the cheapest pedal.
No fucking way.
And I was like, well, I played. So, Jack White, has his signature triple caster, signature Fender amp, and all the pedals. So it's just on display. Go play, right? So I was playing for 40 fucking minutes, just being a nerd. Just playing a bunch of Jack White tunes.
That's so funny. I didn't know that. That's so crazy. I love that.
And then I was like, I gotta buy a fucking pedal. I was with Brian Doucette, and I was like, Brian, I gotta buy a fucking pedal. He's like, why? I'm like,
why not?
Because it's Jack White's pedal.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, okay, which is the cheapest one? I'm going through all of them like a fucking
Jack White's interesting. He's not. I've dabbled with him over the years, but I definitely understand why people like him. He has a sound and everything, but
yeah.
Doesn't speak to my heart completely. I like White Stripes a lot though, but I think I like White Stripes because of Meg, and then everyone shits on Meg. But it's do you understand? The White Stripes are good. They are good because of her drumming.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and so many people listening to this, if you listen to this, would disagree with me right now, but F you, man. That band is good because of Meg. Okay, Jack wrote the songs, but you put any other drummer in that band, it's ruined.
Yeah, no, her groove was perfect.
Exactly. Oh yeah, a bit of groove. Some drummer who's I played it with Tick or whatever. Shut up, dude. I don't care. It's good because she's kind of off, and she's a human being. Okay? Yeah, humans like things that aren't perfect.
It's being human. Yeah. The grid is the most inhuman thing possible.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of people will be on have a click to keep on time. Justin will argue with you to the blue in the face to be on click.
Whatever.
And you're you don't need to be on click. He's like, yeah, you do.
The best bands do not use clicks.
I'm
sorry, man.
What a pocket drummer is someone who listens to click but doesn't follow click. So you can be behind or in front of the click, which is great. Billie Jean was that. It was a pocket. It was all behind the click. It was nanoseconds off. And
Billie Jean was mixed and mastered 97 times or something too, and then they went with the second mix.
Do you ever watch the video of the actual unedited song?
No.
Oh my god, the song's 8.5 minutes long.
Oh fuck.
Yep. The song's 8.5 minutes, but back in the day I was like, okay, 5 minutes, this is getting boring now. They're just gonna turn down the main volume and fade it out. They did that with Shake Your Body Down to the Ground.
Okay.
That song was 20 minutes.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it was just Michael Jackson singing the same shit over and over again. So they cut it at 3.5. But it's. I mean, songs happen. Certain gyms happened just from like absolute nonsense. Like what was it? Comfortably Numb was like this 9 minutes of just fucking nonsense. It didn't even sound like Comfortably Numb, and all of a sudden it just transitions into what we know as Comfortably Numb.
Mm.
So it was just absolute garbage, and then it's one of their most popular songs. It's great. I mean, there's a few times I've done rewrites. Like, one of the songs that I did for the latest album, I completely rewrote the fucking verses and chorus and all that. So I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, well, it's Tony Trumper said to me once that good songs aren't written, good songs are rewritten. That's always stuck with me. Thanks, Tony.
Robert Campbell told me something like that.
Shout out Tony Trumper.
Shout out Tony. He was on 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Sweet. He's done a lot for me here, man. So much for me.
He
More than any. Well, apart from you, he's done more than anything for me. I actually saw my first performance that he ever saw of me. First song he ever saw me play was Starman by David Bowie. So
Where was I?
It was at the Loose Cannon.
Oh, that's when was that where he met you?
Yeah, that's where he met me.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just randomly saw
Yeah, he loved it.
you at Pizza Town. I was like, oh, hello there.
He loved that I was like giving out badges, and he liked that I was trying to like promote myself, and he just thought it was, going that extra mile.
He saw that dedication.
Yeah.
And that's good. A lot of people will like, I mean, there's friends that do that, right? But like all of a sudden you whip out this fucking binder, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go home, Like, oh, bro, what am I doing?
My binder's pretty cool. It's got my own art in it and stickers, business cards.
Speaking of stickers, I actually have your sticker.
I was wondering if you had one.
Oh,
Sweet.
And of course I have the...
yeah, the Mummy and Daddy
right
artwork.
there.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I was like, where am I gonna put this?
So cool. I love that. It's really cool. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I have so many stickers, it's not even funny. There's like 2 right here, one of Club Sunday and Third Man Records. And then what would you call this? That's not Polaroid, that's
Well, it's artwork that I made, but it's just, I don't know, it's just printed on a...
Okay.
Yeah, just a printing of it on...
But my
photo.
mini fridge, I'll show you my mini fridge in my mess of a bedroom later. It is fucking covered. It looks like one of those, like, people like just completely just like the back of their Honda Civic full of stickers,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's funny.
But well, definitely you have a story, and throughout the years you have collected accolades and achievements for yourself. You would always be in this big band, move away, start another band, do good, move away, do another band, and just do great. It's like, doing something like that nowadays is insane, right? What you have is, like, you would have like this dwindling level of clout, and you have to rebuild the clout nowadays because everyone's attention spans are in the fucking gutter,
Yeah.
But since you've started everything so early, right? People know you, right? Or if people be like, I know that name. Okay. I know a Josh O'Reilly, It's like, wasn't he in, that's always a good thing to hear. It's like, wasn't he in, and then insert band name. It's great, especially being in the news, like in the newspapers.
Yeah.
Like anybody in the newspaper, doesn't matter what year it is. Anybody in the newspaper.
It was funny too. I don't really care, but Matt Mays used to follow. Matt Mays followed Old Man Coyote on Instagram.
Did he actually?
Yeah, you go look. He still follows us on Instagram.
That's fucking wild.
That's how big we were getting. We were really starting to like cause a ruckus, and we were hated by like the music scene because we didn't move and we didn't look the way they wanted us to, and we didn't do the things they wanted us to. So we were actually like tried to get into like East Coast music and a few political things, and we were just pushed away from them because they didn't like us.
A bunch of outlaws.
Pretty much, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I understand rules are there for a reason, but if you're gonna be like a little dick and just enforce on some nonsense, what's the point?
If the music is good, the music is good.
There's no sense to police.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll have to go listen to old recordings of your previous bands because all I've been listening to is like LOVŞ SÍLF.
Yeah.
But
Molly's Behavior, Old Man Coyote. It's all on SoundCloud. It's a shame that at that time we weren't like where we're at with music and releasing it. So I don't think that's why it's on all streaming platforms. But
It's good to see that you and Michael Sheldon are, now playing again.
I know.
Do you? I'm trying to remember. Did you do any Old Man Coyote songs on the canon?
No, that wouldn't happen either.
Why?
We wouldn't do that. It's just an older band. I think if anything, we'd end up going on starting on a new project together.
Fair enough. Does he have his own? I mean, you can have him as a feature on future tracks. I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Love Self's gonna have it's gonna be the Love Self, and the Love Self Collective, or it'll be Love Self and Co., which would be Love Self and Company.
And what about Love Self and True Love Rules then?
That would be like a different band.
Ah.
That's why I'm saying maybe Love
So
Self.
like Tom Petty versus Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yeah. So like Love Self would be just me on my own, and then Love Self and Co. would be like Love Self and Company. So that could even be that could be anyone. That could be you. That could be Justin. That could be anyone. Love Self and Company could be, so many different people just coming up to do different songs with me, which I think is really, really cool. But I think I'm also trying to like nail down a proper band. A proper band is what I want. So I'd like to get a drummer and a bassist. But I want, like I said, I'm like a one. I'd want that drummer and bassist to be dedicated to what I'm doing, because I want it to be a full-time living, not a fucking like a hobby. So it would be, I'd want a drummer and bassist who are really dedicated and want to do 4 shows a week and want to get paid a decent amount of money and want to produce albums and singles and artwork and go into concepts and get to know each other and take it to another level. And I think Michael and Amanda are both there with that. So it's just finding 2 other people who can see the vision and can see how big it could possibly be. Because I put on a rock show, you've seen that. You came out to the last one, and that was just.
Well, it's not only did we went to the last one, Justin and I were on the fucking stage with you.
Yeah, and honestly, that show too was my biggest flop show. I learned so much. Yeah, I learned so much from that. I shouldn't have had 3 guitars. I was doing so much. I was doing way too much. When I watched it back, I got really sad. I just didn't feel like I was like also like putting myself out there too much for what the show was. Like I should have toned it down a little bit.
Oh, hold on. Yeah? I'm here.
1 second, please.
I'm recording. What? Not bothering me anymore, my ass. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I'm gonna edit this out. Not bothering me anymore, my fucking ass.
What were we saying?
Trying to put something on a shelf. It's too short.
I can't even remember what we were talking about.
You were saying that the Augusta show was a flop.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a flop, but for me it was a flop. It wasn't for you guys. You guys played well, but I learned a lot. Like I learned that, I shouldn't have been playing like all those guitars. I had all those guitars that I have. It's just too much for. If anything, like basically what I'm trying to say is, if you're a performer, try to make everything as simple as possible. So.
I mean, it went over pretty well. I mean, the only thing is like, CJ was like, "Oh yeah, guys, we're now 10 minutes over." I'm like, "So fucking what?"
Whatever, dude.
Whatever.
Fuck, that's nothing to
It doesn't matter.
whatever,
Like we're finished before
Yeah.
the place actually like closes, so like, it doesn't matter. But I will say though, I mean, it's just simple as opening your ears, and a lot of people don't open their ears. So, like I'll say for a fact, Justin and I, we had our ears open. People went fucking nuts on Digging My Grave. People went nuts on Mummy and Daddy.
Yeah.
Right? That was good. Those were like, well, obviously they were the heavier songs.
Well, yeah,
And of
they're
course, everyone just knows Drive.
more suited for Augustus Pub, those songs.
Everyone knows Drive.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't, everyone knows Drive. Who does that? I forget the band's name.
Incubus.
Incubus, there you
Yeah.
go. But yeah, everyone knows Drive. And so we were like, okay, we're going to open up with Drive, a little bit of bounce, And then we do Anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just like, everyone was like, ooh, yeah,
it was
okay,
good, though. I
okay.
enjoyed it.
And then the fucking solo, and it was like, oh, okay. But yeah, as soon as Justin made that real good pointer of like that last minute switch where we just like end all together. and kind of leave like a cliffhanger. And I just remember as soon as we finished it, someone goes, "Yeah!" But yeah, no, Mommy and Daddy, that was some like Hendrix level shit right there. The only thing I was missing was a guitar on fire. Because you were going fucking nuts, absolutely just going disgusting on the fucking feedback, and then you're just like praying, and I was like, whoa. I was like, what's going on here? Me and Justin are like, what's the cue? Like, do we just slow down? Okay, we'll slow down now after doing this crazy fill, and all of a sudden you just hear,
Yeah.
and I was like, holy shit, that felt like someone just fucking blew Adderall in my face. I enjoyed it. No, I really did enjoy it. It was a hot minute since I played drums. Because I played drums for Brian Doucette, and Brian Doucette was kind of like boots and cats, right? But I actually got to do what I like to do, you know? I actually got to be like bum 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 bum. I got to actually be weird.
I think you'd like the drums on the new single, so you would.
Oh, you teasing me?
I guess. Yeah.
No, I like drums. Like, there's times where I respect just basic drums, but like when it feels like not like an ego thing where space could be filled, but if it's like space definitely deserved to be filled right there, I like doing that, you know. That's great when like I'm a very like kick heavy guy, or I'm a lot of like ghost note type stuff, or just little flams or whatever. Basically, when it comes to the drums, I'm funk, which is the weirdest way to say it. It's funky what my playing style is. You just have all that ghost notes, but like when it comes to like the songs that we played, where it was just like boom, I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude, just get to have fun on this kick drum. You know? It's like if I had the double kick, then we can actually get a weird
getting together and like, yeah,
that whole
taking those songs that, well, you know, something that I produced just on a computer and then actually making them come to life with real people. That was definitely a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was great. Like, and we were all animated on the stage, which was great. So people were loving that. Definitely would be nice to have that reenacted again for Music for Mental Health. It would be nice to see that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Maybe get M. Shelley as well. Maybe get M. Shelley on the lead as well.
That'd be a good idea.
That'd be great. And then again, if we get the big bands, that's an hour.
True.
That's an hour just bouncing around like a bunch of spiders on speed, you know? You never heard that one? Spider on speed?
No.
You ever heard Blue Arse Fly?
Yeah.
Bunch of K. Breton sayings. But no, it was great. It's great. Like you have a vision, right? And I can hear it and like smell it through your songs. And it's good to see like the vision become the reality. That's what I'll say. And it was fun to actually sit behind the kit. And I know Justin would always like joke and be like, maybe you should be the bassist and I should be the drummer. I'm like, no, I asked to be drums. Fuck off. It's like, let me drum. No, I did enjoy it. And I definitely would like to, if we get that big side, you know, we're going to be one of the craziest bands over there.
Yeah, that would be.
And and it's not the fact like what that genre is. They allow it all.
Yeah.
The first show they did, so Brian Doucette closed the night. We're country rock. That right? We're country rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the band before us was? Heavy metal.
Okay.
Where the drummer was literally like doing blast beats and fucking screaming. Yeah. And I was like, they just allow everything here, don't they? Which is good when you have Paul, the lead singer of Club Sunday, actually used this phrase, and I like it. Genre agnostic.
Okay, yeah.
I like that. So, like, Gus's Pub, Woodside Tavern, the Buffalo Club. Even though when you walk in the Buffalo Club, you may think, I gotta play country. No, it is genre agnostic. And it's great because you're gonna have people that like everything. Yeah. And it's just great because you're always gonna hear applause everywhere. And it's good to be a Swiss Army knife when it comes to different genres.
True.
It's such a great thing. And so, like, you know, you're self-managing, self-promo wherever you go. You put on a show. You have your aesthetic on the stage with you as well, with, you know, the skulls, the candles, the artwork done by your fiance, right?
It's a mixture of the drawings are done by my fiance and then the collages are done by me.
Okay, so you have all this this is, you know,
Love Self.
you're not just Love Self, but the stage is.
Yeah, definitely.
You kind of just like, what's best to describe it? Terminator 2, the T-1000, where he's just liquid metal, you just like melt into the floor.
Yeah.
So it's like immediately just like, figuratively just melt into the floor, and now the whole stage is Love Self.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe that. It's not just like I'm here.
It's well, because it's my life. It's from light to dark. That's what Love Self is, and that's why I have the tattoos on my face as well. So
when did those happen?
when I get the tattoos, I can't remember what year it was, but
was it Love Self time, or was this beforehand?
no, it was during Love Self. It was during the hip hop, but it was also like just. I don't know. I've always liked crosses, and it's like sort of, and I like the yin and yang. It's kind of my own version of yin and yang.
All right.
One is to kind of destroy, and the other is to rebuild. So I think that's what Love Self is. It's from dark to light. It's going through a dark process and then coming out the other side, and having lived it and feeling better or learning a lot, like a rebirth almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like, the story of the Phoenix.
I guess, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Or you could treat your stuff as basically, I mean, nowadays this would be a bit of a stretch, but, you could kind of say like a renaissance, I should say. That's also a rebirth as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. History definitely repeats itself over and over again, and the only way that we can change it is just by, I guess, our touch on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, no, what you're doing is great, and it's good to see you actually getting back in to doing stuff again. I remember you hit me up, almost a year ago.
Yeah. It's come so far in a year. Played my first solo show this year, and went on to play like a bunch more afterwards, like more than I can count. Which is, it's pretty big for me.
It's definitely good to see, just the success rise.
Well, yeah, like I hadn't done anything. I hadn't played any shows on my own when I invited you to come over. So, yeah, to come that far in such a short amount of time, I think it's pretty decent, and it's only gonna keep growing. Like, music is a slow burn, so it is, but it's all about just making sure you're maintaining it and doing it every day, and obviously believing in yourself.
Oh yeah, because it's the level. It's not optimism. It's realism. I don't want to steer near optimism or pessimism. I say realism, right? Because if you know what you want to achieve, it's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Not a straight path, right? There's going to be ups and downs, but you know that it's not smooth sailing, but the end goal is always going to be up, right? Because, yeah, you can play a show with like 5 people in there, but you know what? It's a flip of a coin that those 5 people are going to pay attention to you afterwards, the show,
It's actually those gigs, I think, that mean more, because if you go there and there's 5 people there and you play shit or you don't give it your all, you don't know years later down the line, like, one of those people was like, man, I saw him play and there's only 5 people and he played trash, like, that could be bad for your reputation. It's those gigs that when there's only 5 people there, you want to give it your all, so that when you do make it and venues are filled up, someone's like, oh, I saw him years ago and he only played 5 people and it was amazing. It kind of like goes to show that I'm just here to, it doesn't matter how many people are in the room. I'm just going to play the way I always play.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if there's 5 or 1 million.
Yeah.
You play the same amount. You play the same amount of effort. Because those 5 people, they might fucking buy front row tickets, you know?
Exactly.
You never know. But, and it's always, you know, I've played to small crowds as well. And it's just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna still keep playing as like I would play anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's always good to, when you take your break, interact with the audience, man. Keep them staying.
Network, exactly.
Oh, not like network. Obviously, like give your cards, give your stickers, like show off the swag as well. But it's always good when you get to shake their hand.
Yeah.
And you know the thing is, Justin said this. They don't have to do that. It's the fact that they wanted to do that and tell you that you're doing a good job. That's what I like.
Yeah.
When people like randomly come up to you and say, I like what you're doing. Or, you know, you might get the opportunity. It's like, hey, if I threw a bunch of money at you, would you play at a private event? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good. It's always good stuff. Yeah. And it again, never let the size of a room affect you. If there's a lot, if there's a little, you play your fucking damn best.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know why? The damn best is always going to be, it's always going to look the best. It's always going to sell the best because the best is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, it so happens what? You hit a voice crack. Or drink some water. You're back in the game, you know?
Yeah. No.
Simple as that. It doesn't matter. Because people are fucking loving it. And, you know, not to call people, you know, who are drinking idiots, but it's like, they won't know if your voice cracked because they're still loving that song that you're playing.
Exactly.
Right? And it's great. Like the music scene when it comes to like when it comes to like just playing live, it's just, it is a bit of mental preparation, and once you sell it with the first song, you don't have to. I find that you don't have to worry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that like? Is it now? It's just like when it's time to play, you're just like, all right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's like just going to work.
I like that.
It's the same thing. Yeah, you're just like, all right, let's get up, do it. And I find once you start, like 45 minutes on stage to an hour is actually nothing. It just goes by so fast.
Yeah, and then you're like, man, I gotta piss. Be right back.
Yeah.
Bro, I gotta be right back. What I usually do is I'll always do 2 45s in an hour. Those 15-minute breaks is just to like talk to people and just like quickly repair my voice from singing really loud and high. It's just a great feeling to just give it your goddamn all and hear people loving it. Might I ask though, back to like your release stuff. What is manifest? What is that just something you came up with, or?
So the word manifest is to, you know, you can hear on this plane or whatever you want to call it, this dimension, you know, people believe that if you are open and you think about something enough, you can manifest it. So manifest just means I'm trying to manifest a full-time music career. Okay. So that's what that means. It's me opening up to bring music into my life.
Is this a record label?
It could be potentially down the line. Manifest Records. Yeah, I don't see why not. Maybe something I would get into.
Because how did you get the how did you get what your tattoos are? How did you get those? What characters did you use for those on the keyboard?
Everybody asks me this. I feel like I don't want to tell anyone. I feel like it's a really good mystery just to keep.
How the hell did you get those? How did you get those characters?
I don't want anyone. I'm not telling anyone.
Oh man!
No, it's
rats.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery. I'll tell you off camera or off recording. On recording, no.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one time. I was like, "Where the fuck did he get those?"
Yeah, people love that. Yeah, you can.
No, I like that a lot, man. Oh.
Yeah, so it's just Manifest Records. It's just manifesting a full-time music career. Yeah, which I'm going to do. You know, so that's what that means.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, you know, thank you for coming, Josh.
Matt, Michael, I love you, brother. You know that I think we have a great connection, and
yes.
I don't want to give much away, but I think at the end, I think me and you might be collaborating on something next year. Collaborating on one of my own songs.
Yeah, I every time I mean I heard it a few times in the live sense, and I'm like, man, that's such a good fucking song.
I know we're wrapping up, but like, you know, as an artist, like for me, when I play that song, I get so insecure about that song, and I've played it a few times, and I've practiced it a lot. You know, every time I play, it's like slow it down, and you know, just give it that like that slickness. Like I don't give a fuck who anyone is here, and like, but still, I feel so insecure about it. You know, because I feel like it's kind of long or whatever, and it dwindles on. So when I got that text from you, man, like, hey, can we duet on that? You know. I don't even want to say the name of the song, but I was honestly, it made my day, man. So, yeah,
No,
thanks.
It's a good
thanks
song.
For,
as soon as I heard the chord progression, I was like, bro, this is a song right here.
Yeah, So anyway, thanks for having me on, and yeah, I look forward to collaborating with you and working with you more in the future. And
yeah, well, I'll always be on the sound if I'm available. So
yeah,
like the next
true.
2 shows you have,
Oh man,
I'm there, bro.
that's the thing. When
I'm
this does become my full-time income, I'll make sure that you're hopefully at sound every show, man.
And you see me running those big X32s.
Yeah.
Run the big X32, and I'll be talking from like I'll be talking from the mixer.
Your cowboy hat.
Yeah, turn your fucking mic down. You're too loud up there.
Yeah, man. Here to the future, dude, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
All right, man. Stay weird, be love.
Woo! Go listen to Love Self on any streaming platform. You know, you can find them on Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube.
Yeah.
Deezer, maybe? I don't know.
Deezer? Yeah.
Deezer? Oh, yeah. Okay.
check out my music videos. I have some sick music videos.
He's got good ones.
All made
especially his last 2 singles.
Thank you.
Yeah.